Hello. My name is Emery. Welcome to Coding Australia. This project is called Cascading Style Sheets.
So this is a set of W3.CSS videos going to show you how to write a website using the W3.CSS format, which is provided by W3 Schools, which in my humble opinion is a great place to learn to write websites. When you go to that address there, this is what comes up. W3CSS tutorial, and there is absolutely everything you're ever going to need to know to write a pretty nice looking responsive website. For example, that one, which I'm not all that fussed about. This one, which isn't too bad. It's got the fixed menus at the top, if that's what your preferences are. But the thing about it is that they're responsive. So that means that when you start looking at it on a phone, for example, it resizes, puts in menus, does all sorts of wonderful things. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll get straight into this. There's the very first example. What we do is we'll open up our editor and we'll copy this code, which gives you this website. So we highlight that and copy it and put it over into here, like so, and we will save it. And we're going to save it into a folder, and we'll call it W3CSS.html. So there it is. And if we then click on it, it will open up in a new window there. So that's what we were trying, that's what we've got. We don't have the photos. We'll go and get some photos and we'll do some other modifications. So you're underway. That's the first bit of code. Let's go and get a little bit more. So we'll close this, come here, and we'll just go a bit further down. Now, what's making all this happen? That there is what's making it happen. So you've got this wonderful style library that's provided free of charge called W3, and it allows you to use all these class statements. Just once you get the hang of this, you can get up to all sorts of things happening here. So you use these class statements is what drives everything. All sorts of different things can happen. So we'll go and get a little bit more from here, and we'll do something with that as well. So down here, as you can see, that's been changed slightly. We're going to go and get that style file and put it into our folder as well. In fact, we'll do that now. We'll open up a new, go and open it. You can read it if you want. It's quite impressive. We just click on it, save it, and put it in there. And there it is. And then we can just forget about it for now. Go back over here, change the address so that it's local, which means you can now do all your website development. You don't need to be on the internet. You just need a browser and an editor, and you're underway. So it'll still work. We've saved it. If I go back over here, just to prove that we're not in bad shape, it's changed and the same thing comes up again, and we're away. Alright, let's just go back over here, and as I said, we'll go and get a little bit more. What's this? Is this the one we want? This is the one we want. So there's a bit extra at the bottom of this. Give you some table and some half size as well, which is handy to know. We'll just copy from there to the bottom. So I've just copied it, and I'll go to the editor and we'll paste it from there. Paste it, and we have a bit more. Save it. Go back over here and refresh. Yes, that's working fine. We don't have photos, but we will have quite soon. We can get rid of this. We go back here, and you are quite welcome to go through all of the different CSS, but what I'm going to focus on is the reference file down the bottom. and I'll be showing you taking bits and pieces out of here. All those class W3s just get put in class statements and things happen. It's pretty much that simple. It's just a lot to learn, but if you don't have to remember all this. You just say, what am I looking for? And go and look for it, and it's there. So back over here. For instance, we'll do a fast change, just one, and then we'll come back with some photos. Let's change that one, leave that one, change this one. Maybe, what else have we got here? Well, the table. We could change the table to this one for our heading. Let's put deep orange. And we'll save it. Go back over here, refresh, and things. That's all really much what it takes. What we'll do now is just put in some photos and change the text. Alright, let's start with putting some photos in. I went and got some photos. There's other photos in here as well, but I actually went into Google and found some photos. There's a Cherbourg one, and there's a Warrabinda one. So we'll put those two in, and there's another one here that's, where is it? Oh, here we go, kids. And we'll put that one in as well. So let's put those three in first and see how that goes. So back over here. First one will be in there. And the second one will be down here. And the third one will be there. And while we're here, we may as well, we've got the kids. Let's call this First Nation Women, because that's where we're heading. That can go. Don't even have to have it, but we'll put it in. Kids, that can go. This one can go. Will be changed. Put something in here. So that we'll put down here as well, and change that to Warrabinda. And up here, we'll save it and see how we're travelling for a start. We're going to have to change this part, and we'll update the table as well. So let's just save it and see how it's looking. There we go, First Nation Women, there's a photo, that needs the first one, the table, Cherbourg, the First Nation Community, Queensland, Warrabinda, the First Nation Community. So that's looking pretty good. In here we can put some more stuff. You could do that if you like. So I'll change it myself off video, but there's stuff that can go in there. The other thing might be to perhaps change the look of the table itself. And there's one other thing we can do. We can update the footer as well. So I'll do that, and you can have a go at it as well. So you might like to have a look at fixing that up and doing some stuff in the bottom. I'll just add one more thing in here, and then you can do the rest. So in here we can put, oops, what am I saying? W3 center, and down the bottom. Footers are footers usually have lots of things. Have links to Facebook and things. This one we'll just put acknowledgement. Acknowledgement's good. And we can do the old W3 center. And in here, so template by W3.CSS and content by First Nation, something. We'll come up with a name. All right, let's save that. Have a quick last look at it. See what's changed. That's in the centre. That's looking okay. The table, look, there's our acknowledgements. The last thing before we finish for the moment is this. If we do that and bring this in, just so you see what it's doing. Resizing. There we go. So that's working. And I'm going to make some changes to the content, and when we come back you can see how close you did the same thing. Moving right along, this is the website that we are working on, and there's been a couple of changes. I promised at the end of the last video I'd make some changes. This part at the top here, we'll come back to that, but the parts that I will just show you, and you hopefully are able to fix these yourself. I think there was something about a car written there perhaps. This is a generic website to be offered to First Nations. It may also use updating existing ones. Change the table, put in a couple of names there that hopefully are, the first one maybe be a bit familiar, and a couple of other ones as well. Put in 4 columns. I think that's exactly the same, and down the bottom maybe slightly different. Let's just go and check it. Here we go. There's the footer. There's the 2 pictures, and here's the table. Now the table may have been spread out. It's all been scrunched up. You can put it all on the one line. They like to spread it out, but it still works like this. In fact, you can put all your coding in a great big long line if you want. You may have noticed that W3CSS file is just a great big set of stuff, although there is some order to it if you go and have a closer look. Okay, and we may even have a look at how you can make some changes in there too, just a couple of small ones. Alright, so there you go. That's the table. There's the other part. This is the generic, etc, etc, etc. Alright, so that's it. Now the other thing I did was I changed the name of it, and I saved it under a new name. So I've saved it as index.html, and you'll see why down the track. So that's what we've got there, like so. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put this wonderful menu in there that when you resize does rather neat things that you may have seen before, like that. So we'll come back and show you how that works as well. Alright, now the good thing about this is that even though if I go back over here, you'll notice there's all the code, but you don't need to, there's no need for you to type that out. You can go get it, and then I'll show you. We'll go and get it. Alright, so we go over here, back to the CSS skills, which I showed you about, told you about before, and we pick up one of these demos. Now the demo we'll go with is the third one, which is that. All we want is this top bit. So if we right click on that, view the page source, there it all is. I mean, even if you sat there and quietly, slowly went through the whole thing, you'd probably start picking things up, but the part we're interested in is that part there. So we highlight that, we copy it, and I'm going to open up a really basic text editor. Okay, this one. Alright, and there it is. And then we edit this. And the way that we edit this is we do a few things. So for example, up here, you can use that if you want, but sometimes they don't show up. So what I'll do is I'm going to go image source equals bars.png. Alright, instead. So that will become clear a bit later. We've now got home going nowhere, index.html. So you click on the home button, this happens. The other part up here is that it's black. We want it brown, B-R-O-W-N, and there may be some other changes we need to make down here. So this is, it's not called band anymore. We've got that one, and that one. And then there's a few extra drop down parts which I'm not interested in either, so this is all it's going to go. And there's a search one there, and that's going as well. So we've taken it back to there. The merch one can go as well. The contact, that, if you run that site, you'll notice it jumps down the screen, so it actually goes to different tags on the screen. We don't want it to go anywhere. And the only other thing we need to do is, everything else is pretty right, we just change these to about, identity, and down, leave contact as it is, because we'll look at contact later. So about, and identity. Let's just check our colours. There's a black in there that we want to change to brown. I think that's it. Everything else is pretty correct. Brown, 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 brown. So there's a little bit of editing involved. And then we take all this and we copy it back over here and we paste it into there, like that. Okay, so you paste it in there. And the other thing we need to look at is that little image there, which won't show up until we've done it, actually drawn it. So there it is, and this gives you, I won't bother saving this because I already have somewhere. We don't need that anymore. We can get rid of that. We'll leave that there for a minute. We come back over here and we've got this. Now the only bit that's missing at the moment, and so that all works. If you refresh your page, this is what you'll get. These don't go anywhere yet, and that'll flash maybe because it's gone back to the home page, which is index.html. And the only other part about it is this here, which is what gives you that, and that's the bars.jpg. So the bars.jpg is a very tiny little picture you can draw, 4 white lines, 40 by 28 pixels. Save it as bars.png. Put it in the same folder where you're actually running got all your files and your pictures and everything else, and you're underway. And so that's, you got a fairly neat looking website, which you are absolutely entitled to play with. About would go to a new page, identity would go to a new page, and the contact would go to a new page. Or, as what happens with a lot of the templates, you'll notice is when you click on some of these, it actually skates down the page to another spot as well. If you want to go and look at that type of design, that's fine. This one will look at separate pages. So make all those changes, and then maybe we'll get another video going. Take this forward, or you can take it forward yourself.
Thank you, too.